Well, welcome to the land of the brave. We are in Glasgow for another massive show. We've come off Joyce Hergovich and Kakachi Wood as Queensberry and DAZN kicked off their partnership. We now roll on to Taylor Essuman. I'm joined by Carol Itauma, of course his brother runs out again against an American fighter. We'll come on to that, but firstly, Carol, want to talk about the main event.
Yep.
This is extremely interesting because you've got an undisputed former champ there who's been at the elite level, but has had 3 fights in 3 years, and you've got an Englishman coming here who's been on an incredible roll, I think 3 fights in a year, who's looking to spoil the party here in Glasgow. How do you see this fight?
We were talking about it with our team, and they're saying, we were both basically saying how, like, Ekow, he is game, like he will come in and he will try to take it with no respect, and it just matches up to an intriguing fight.
Absolutely. As I said, Josh has been inactive, but he has been at that top level before, and has only lost to Jack Catterall and Teofimo Lopez. And no shame in that. So really, Ekow's stepping up in levels here, but the inactivity of Josh, you think that could play a factor on Saturday?
Do you know what? I genuinely think like Josh will have to turn up. It can't just be like a 60%, 50% Josh Taylor, because I reckon that Josh Taylor would get beat by Ekow. So he'll really need to, both men will need to turn up, and yeah, like I said, it'll be an exciting fight.
For Josh as well, a step up in weight. He never said he struggled at 140, but he always did look a little tight. Said he made the weight fine though, but he's gone up to welterweight. So listen, that could be an advantage, it could be a disadvantage. We'll have to see.
It could, because obviously, like, when a fighter proper drains himself to the weight, it does have an effect on the performance. So let's see how refueled, how that extra strength, extra weight contributes or translates into the ring.
And for Ekow here, I mean, if he does come to Glasgow and beats Josh Taylor, a guy who's known across the world, it's got to be a Brian Norman world title fight, maybe a Conor Benn. There's Jaron Ennis, there's Barrios, Pacquiao's back. I mean, there's a lot of doors that could open up for Ekow Essuman. Absolutely,
like just one good performance like that, and your whole career trajectory changes. And like you said, loads of doors open up.
Well, listen, neither man's been stopped. They have both lost fights, but they've never been stopped, so it'll be an intriguing clash, and they both bring it, so I look forward to it. We have to touch on your brother a little bit. I mean, for me, I shouldn't probably be saying this, but I've said it before, not just the best prospect in the heavyweight division, but in boxing, full stop for me. But that's kind of a bit of a problem as well, because people just don't want to fight him unless you're asking for a ludicrous price. Now, I guess that's where Francis, Frank and George, that's where the issue lies at the moment with Moses, really.
Well, you're not wrong there. Like, some of the opponents that have been asked for, some of the money they've been asking for as well has been crazy. But it's just all about that incremental step-ups. Like, obviously, Mike Balogun has only lost to Gassiev, 23-0, 23-1, sorry. So it's a step-up. And we're excited to see him back out. He's excited to be out because since the MC has been like 6 months. So he wants to be active, and this is that fight that's going to push him up again and then just keep going up.
Well, listen, we've seen some of the best fighters in the heavyweight division from Britain come to Glasgow, and I know a lot of Moses fights have been in London or Riyadh. So to build a star, you've got to go around the country. Anthony Joshua did that. So I guess it's a good stepping stone to go to Glasgow, to go to Manchester one day, to go around the country, to eventually end up in America. But someone like him should be boxing all over the place.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Like, even that we look at his performance statement against Dempsey McKean, since that fight, his profile has gone up since then. And with performances like that, it continues doing that. It's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
I mean, Lawrence Okoli actually started this. I first heard about Moses when he was 15. I think it was lockdown. And Lawrence Okoli, fair play to him, was quite open about how good this 15-year-old kid was. And he described the first spar they had, and he wanted to take it easy. And he then realised, oh no, I've got the shock of my life here, and I need to step it up. But he started really the noise around Moses, didn't he, Lawrence?
Well, I still remember that period because I was sparring Lawrence then as well. This was back when they trained in Canterbury, and I was there witnessing everything, and it is where it started all. And like my brother's vocal about it as well, he's Lawrence starting that. It's only been beneficial, so yeah, we've got respect for Lawrence.
You've got obviously a special insight as his older brother, and something that strikes me about Moses, and other people have mentioned it as well, you don't feel like you're talking to a 20-year-old. He's just turned 20. He's so composed and mature, and I guess it shows that age doesn't define maturity in a sense, but you know, as a 19-year-old, you could be forgiven for being a bit brash or saying, you know, saying outlandish things that you might look back at when you're 25, 26 and think, but he speaks like a seasoned pro already.
He does mention that it is how we've been brought up, or how we've been brought up, and he's always been mature. So now it's just showing. So yeah, it's exciting to see him grow, because even when he started as a pro, the growth from then to now, he was quite a bit timid. Well, not timid, but like reserved, shall I say. But now he's really coming out, and I feel like the more fights he has, the more he goes on, you just see more of his personality, and he is a very mature and composed character.
We know Aloys and Moses. I thought they would have a face-off there. I mean, he's another one. Look, Aloys is on the card. Obviously, you would have seen a lot of him when you're around your brother in Ben Davis's gym. What a beast he is, Aloys Jr. And a tough fight against David Jamieson, but he's such an exciting prospect as well, Aloys.
Absolutely. Like, I guess in that gym they just thrive off each other, and that's always a positive.
Absolutely. Well, there's some heavy hitters on this card. Moses Itauma, we mentioned your brother, Aloys Jr. We have got a Scottish clash as well between Nathaniel Collins and Lee McGregor, which is a great appetizer going into the main event. Thoughts on that fight? Both of them, again, bring the heat, both of them, Collins and McGregor. Yeah,
to be 100% honest with you, Umar, I don't really know too much about Collins, but obviously like Lee McGregor, I've seen him out in Saudi and around as well, so yeah, it's exciting.
Well, you've seen a lot of Lee McGregor, and I'm sure you rate him. Collins is actually the bookie's favourite going into this fight, so that says a lot about this fight. Look, the whole card really, when you look at it, I've mentioned Moses, I mentioned Aloys, two of the most exciting guys, not just in British boxing and world boxing. You've got the Collins-McGregor fight, Taylor Essuman as a main event. These cards that Queensberry and DAZN are producing currently are top class.
Absolutely, and obviously the addition of Saudi and obviously the Riyadh season and that. So it's not only is it good for the fighters, but it's also good for the British public and British fans that are tuning in to watch them.
Okay, well, listen, Carol, we'll pick this conversation back up on. I'm told we've got to wait a couple of minutes for the presser. Just to go back to Moses, obviously you've got a special insight, Carol.
Yep.
We all know how special he is, but you truly know how special he is. Is it fair to describe him as a bit of a freak?
Depends what you mean by freak. My brother's talented, but it's not just talent, it's talent mixed with hard work. And at that stage, I just feel like he's God gifted. Like, the ability that he's got been given is truly exceptional. And now it's just about showing the world what he can really do. And I believe in due time he will show, and he will showcase it.
There's been whispers about, a Martin Bakole fight. Frank Warren told me that Billy Nelson texted him and said we don't want that till the end of the year. Listen, Moses is not going to wait around for Martin Bakole, but as his brother, would you be confident if he stepped in with someone like Martin, who's at that world-class level, that he'd beat him and knock him out ultimately?
I have the full trust in my brother's ability and what he does in training. Like, he leaves no stone unturned, and with that mentality and that work ethic, I believe he can beat them all.
Okay, well, listen, as I said, we'll pick this conversation back up. We are now ready for the press conference, the final press conference for Taylor Essuman, and I'll throw to DAZN to start our press conference.
Well, hello, Glasgow. Wow, what a brilliant turnout here today in Glasgow. There's a lot of faces up here already sat down, but there's two fighters missing, the two main event fighters. So I'm going to welcome them up to the stage. You can cheer, you can boo, you can do whatever you like, but the first man I'm going to introduce is the man standing in the way of Josh Taylor on Saturday night. He's the former British and Commonwealth welterweight champion. Please give a warm Glasgow welcome to Ekow the Engine Essuman. Okay, the engine is here. Now let's give a big Glasgow welcome to the history maker, the first four-belt undisputed world champion from the UK, the flag bearer for Scottish boxing today, the one and only Josh Taylor. Okay, hello Glasgow. Welcome to the final press conference for Land of the Brave. On Saturday night, Josh Taylor, as I mentioned, the flag bearer for Scottish boxing, he is back and he returns to the Hydro, the same place that he became a world champion all those years ago. And this time, he's got a very tough, rugged and stubborn opponent in Ekow the Engine Essuman. It is a stunning main event that signals the return of big-time boxing to Scotland. Listen, it wasn't so long ago that the Tartan Tornado here tore his way through the super lightweight division. He was picking up world title after world title. He made history. He became the first undisputed world champion in the four-belt era from the UK. And whilst Josh Taylor was doing all of that, winning all of those belts, making history, somewhere in the distance there was the sound of an engine, just revving and revving away, waiting for the opportunity to be heard. That engine is Ekow Essuman. So now Josh Taylor leaves behind everything he's achieved at 140 pounds. He steps up for a new chapter at a new weight, at Ekow Essuman's weight. So we head into Saturday night with a few questions. Is the Tartan Tornado still the force that it once was? Is that old Josh Taylor magic still there? Or is the engine ready to purr on the biggest stage yet? Is Ekow Essuman ready to make a big statement in this welterweight division? Well, we get all the answers Saturday night live on the global home of boxing, DAZN. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Land of the Brave. Before we speak to the fighters and everyone up here, some very sad news. Don't know if you've seen this morning. Unfortunately, boxing has lost one of its own. 25-year-old Georgia O'Connor sadly lost her fight with cancer and has passed away. So everyone at Queensberry is very sad to learn of that, and we'd like to acknowledge it with a round of applause. Okay, I'd like to start with an opening word actually from Josh Taylor. Josh, this is your big show. It's fight number 22 in your pro career, back where you first became world champion all those years ago. Give us your insight. What are the thoughts? What are the emotions?
Yeah, hi, it's great to be back here. Almost over 10 years. This has been my home since the Commonwealth Games. Had most of my big fights here. Victor Postol, my first world title against Ivan Baranchek. So yeah, I've had most of my big fights here, most of my big nights here. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back. It's been a little while since I've been here, so I'm looking forward to coming back home and putting on a good show tomorrow night. Saturday night. Can't wait. Sorry.
Okay, let's get an opening word from your opponent then. Ekow, welcome to Glasgow, welcome to the Lions Den, and welcome to the biggest fight of your career. Give us the thoughts 48 hours away.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. Thanks to Francis, Frank, George, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you, everyone in Glasgow, for accepting me here. I mean, everyone's been really welcoming, and it's a beautiful place. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Okay, we'll come back to Josh and Ekow very shortly as well. Francis Warren from Queensberry, and of course manager of so many fighters, including Moses Itauma. Francis, just get an opening word from you. Back in Glasgow for the first time in years. What a great show.
Absolutely fantastic show to reintroduce Queensberry back up here in Scotland, and in particular Glasgow. Had some terrific nights here over the years, and it's an absolute pleasure to be back. And it's fantastic to be working with Josh. And what Josh has done in this sport is second to none. Literally, he's the only guy from the UK to be undisputed in the four-belt era. And Ekow has decided that this is the challenge he wants to take. And I think it's a phenomenal. It's going to take a phenomenal effort from Ekow to come up to Josh's hometown and disrupt what I'm sure Josh wants to be a successful campaign at welterweight. But, you know, Ekow's got his own ambitions at world level, and so if Ekow can come up here and do the business on Josh, then, you know, he's making a real statement. But I know Josh obviously wants to campaign at welterweight now and make a big dent at the world scene. We've got some terrific youngsters on the undercard as well, local guys, and it's a pleasure to be back up in Glasgow, obviously alongside a couple of guys we brought up from down south as well, in Aloys and Moses. But, you know, pleasure to be here and looking forward to a cracking night on Saturday.
Thank you, Francis. All right, let's start with a good old-fashioned Glasgow tear-up. 2 unbeaten middleweights, Scottish middleweight title on the line. We've got Aston Brown against Rhys Porter. And Aston, I'm going to start with you. You weren't at the launch press conference, so you didn't get a chance to reply to anything that Rhys said. But it's been some journey for you, my friend. I've been reading about all the long layoffs, everything you've been through. Well done for being here, firstly, and give us your thoughts on this big fight.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, everybody, for turning it. It has been a bit of a rocky road for me, mate, but I'm looking forward to Saturday night. A massive stage with my good mates, undercard. And as you said, against all Scottish middleweight clash, you know what I mean, against Rhys Porter. Can't wait to Saturday night, mate, and I'll knock Rhys Porter out on Saturday night.
Well, that's a pretty clear statement of intent, Rhys Porter. I'm pretty sure you told us at the launch presser you'll be knocking him out. So what is going to happen?
Oh, it's a Rhys Porter knockout, definitely. Okay, right.
I mean, Aston, you're the guy with all the amateur pedigree. You've done so much, former Team GB member. What's going to be the difference on Saturday? Is it all of that?
Levels, mate. Levels to this game will be the difference.
8 years ago.
Doesn't matter, kid. 8 years ago,
We'll
10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Mate, we'll find out.
I'll knock you out on Saturday night,
Good,
trust
mate,
me.
we'll see. Break every revenue way up.
Aston, you made it pretty clear that when fighters start approaching you with a bit of ambition, that's when it's all going to start coming together and people will start going to sleep. So is that where it's going to be the undoing of Rhys on Saturday?
It's exactly what it'll be, mate. He'll come swinging, he'll come lunging in, and he'll get caught coming, he'll get knocked out. Just like my last fight in Belfast was a massive underdog. Fergus Quinn, 2 rounds, knocked out.
I've got a better KO ratio than you, mate, I think.
That doesn't matter, kid. Who have you knocked out?
The one you couldn't.
But who have you knocked out?
You on Saturday.
We'll see about that on Saturday night, kid, trust me.
I'm good to go, mate.
Very confident, Rhys. Very confident.
Need to be, mate.
He says you're going to come out swinging and that's going to be the undoing of you.
I'm not going to be game plans, mate, but if that's what he's prepared for, then let him wonder. Till one hits his chin.
Question for both of you guys. What would it mean to become the Scottish middleweight champion? I'll start with you, Aston.
Aye, it'd be a massive achievement, know what I mean? I've won multiple Scottish titles as an amateur, so to add it as a professional would be some achievement, mate.
Same again, mate, yeah. I've seen the belt. They've made a new Scottish belt for this one coming, so it looks really, really nice, actually. Good to have it in my waist on Saturday.
Good stuff. Listen, you're both very, very confident. Let's get a final message to each other. You've been looking at each other throughout the duration of this conversation. I'll start with you, Aston. Anything you'd like to tell Rhys ahead of Saturday?
Just get ready for Saturday night, kid. That's that.
I'm ready, brother. Don't you worry. I'm ready.
There you go. Scottish middleweight title on the line. Saturday night. Wow. Great fight coming up, and so is this one. We've got a cracker in the cruiserweight division. The vacant Commonwealth cruiserweight title is on the line, and that's a significant belt. Both Lawrence Okoli, Chris Billam-Smith have won that belt en route to becoming world champions. So it's a very important belt. We've got Aloys Jr of England against David Jamieson with the greatest beard I have ever seen from Scotland. Look at that man. David, I'm going to start with you. Because at the launch press conference, I think you both actually agreed that one of you is going to go to sleep. So how are you going to make sure it's not you?
How you doing? First off, I'd just like to thank everybody for coming. Thank Queensberry for running the show up here.
Aye, but I'm not going to give too much away, Dave, to answer your question. But I think, I said it at the first press conference, I think the way that we both go about our business, it speaks for itself. We're everything that the cruiserweight division brings. We're big, we're powerful, we're fast. And it's just a case of who applies their game plan and who lands first.
You're 12 years older. Is that age an advantage or a disadvantage?
I would think at this stage in the game it would be a massive advantage. It's not a case of miles on the clock. I've not really got any miles on the clock. I've just got good experience, and I think that'll be a massive, massive difference on the night.
Well, let's bring in Aloys Jr, suited and booted today. And Aloys, I saw in your Instagram story actually earlier this week, you had a picture of Napoleon up there. Give us a bit of an insight. What's going on in your mind heading into this one?
Greatness.
He's a very experienced fighter, though. It's going to take quite a lot to beat him, right?
With all due respect, I'm going to fuck this man up. I'm really going to hurt him. So look, I know he's prepared, but I come with different sauce. They call me an animal for a reason, and I'm going to show it on Saturday night.
Come on, big guy, keep it PC here. No need for the bad language.
Aloys, I'm curious. I was watching the Queensberry YouTube doc that they did on you guys in Ben Davison's gym, and you were asked about Chev Clark and Vidal Riley, and you said it was light work. So if you see those guys as light work, I'm curious how you see David Jamieson here.
Baby food.
Baby food, he referred to you as there, David. I don't know if you've got any response to that.
Listen, I don't even want to get into a back and forth here. I just think it's absolute mince. The patter's just terrible. Listen, I said that. I mean, baby food, really? Is that? Come on, let's just leave it. Shake hands and we'll settle it in the night.
Just before we move on, is this about you taking him down the stretch? Is this about you taking him to places that maybe you're more comfortable than you think he is, David?
Listen, probing into the game plan and all that stuff, I can do anything, wherever it needs to go. If it needs to go late, what we need to remember is the knockout ratio on my record as well. Aloys needs to watch. I might just take him early. If I chap him in the chin, everybody else has went, he'll maybe go. So it maybe not be about going down the stretch.
Sorry, I didn't understand anything he said.
You don't need to, big man. Just turn up on Saturday night.
Aloys, this is going to be a bit of a new experience for you. You're going up a guy essentially in his backyard. The crowd will be cheering everything he does, maybe booing things that you do in there. Are you ready to go into the Lion's Den?
Wherever I am is the Lion's Den.
What's your final message to David Jamieson ahead of Saturday?
Stay ready.
You've got to stay ready.
Stay ready. Listen, big man, I've got ready. I'm ready to rumble. Just you turn up.
Good stuff. Fantastic cruiserweight fight on Saturday night. Aloys Jr, the young buck, the hungry lion, against David Jamieson from Scotland. Brilliant cruiserweight, Commonwealth cruiserweight title on the line. Can't wait for that. So let's move on to the next fight. Now, there is a feeling that once it's all said and done for Josh Taylor, and once he passes the torch on, the winner of this next fight will be the next flag bearer for Scottish boxing. That will be the significance of the win. Lee McGregor, Nathaniel Collins will duke it out to decide the King of Scotland in the featherweight division. It's a truly unbelievable fight for Scotland. And Lee, I want to start with you here because just a word on that. It's such a significant fight. Perhaps the best that's been made here since like Alex Arthur against Willie Limond all those years ago. It's a brilliant fight. Great to be involved in.
Yeah, definitely. It's massive, huge fight. These are the reason we all us at this table start boxing. You know, as young kids, we dream about nights like this on Saturday. So I've prepared hard, and I'm ready to leave it all in the ring.
I was looking at your Instagram, and there was a quote there. You said you feel like you've learnt a lot of lessons and you're becoming the best version of yourself now. So how does the best version of Lee McGregor deal with Nathaniel Collins?
I feel like the best, and again, this is no disrespect, this is just self-belief. I feel like the best prepared Lee McGregor, no issues, can beat anybody in the world at featherweight. And Nathaniel Collins is in my way on Saturday, and that beating him makes it a huge step towards that. So, yeah, fully focused on doing the job on Saturday.
Well, Nathaniel, let's bring you in here. But by far the biggest fight, the biggest moment, the biggest stage of your career. You're in Lee McGregor's way. What's going on in your head?
He sees that I'm in his way, and I see that he's in my way. So both of us need to deal with it. I feel like obviously the best version of me deals with anybody as well, you know, in the featherweight division. And I've said from the start that I'm wanting to go for world titles, and that's all I'm looking at.
You've said it will be a career best Nathaniel Collins on Saturday. So what does that mean for Lee McGregor?
Means a nightmare of a night. Staying true to the name. You know, the best me that comes, the speed, the footwork, the movement, everything comes together. I don't think there's a man that can beat me, so that's what it means.
Well, Lee, listen, you've both got skills. You've both shown that you can dig in, you can have a fight. What will separate you from Nathaniel on Saturday?
Again, not being disrespectful, just self-belief. I feel like I'm a better boxer than Nathaniel, and I feel like I can outfight him as well. So I think it makes for a great fight. You know, it's our records prove our achievements, our styles. You know, everybody that was seen this fight get announced was just buzzing for the fight. It's going to be exciting, but I just think I'm going to take him into deep waters, and I think I'll come out on top.
Nathaniel, how are you? How's your swimming in deep waters?
I'm a good swimmer, mate. I'm a good swimmer. I like it. You know, I've been in deep waters before. You've seen it not my last fight, the fight before that. You know, it was a war. I got my nose broke. I came through it. I kept fighting. There's no deep waters that I've not been in and tested. You know, I've tested all the waters, so I'm ready to go.
Well, you're both ready to go. Just a final word. There is a feeling that this is a passing of the torch. Once Josh Taylor does go, winner of this fight kind of becomes the face of Scottish boxing. Are you seeing it like that, Lee?
Yeah, I think so. Most definitely. Like I said, this is for the WBC silver title. The winner of this is only going to go on and push for a world title fight. So we're the world champion in Scotland, and definitely going to be flying the flag after Josh. So that's all the motivation we both need ahead of Saturday.
Yeah, huge implications, Nathaniel, from this one.
Yeah, definitely. It's probably the biggest fight. You know, no offence to anybody else, but it's probably the biggest fight here, and you know, all over online, all over socials, everywhere. All I've seen is people talking about this fight. So it's massive. It could be a headliner as well. So I'm really looking forward to it, and it's going to be some fight and some night.
Thank you, Nathaniel.
Tune in and enjoy it, because it's going to be good. It's going to be big.
100%. What a fight. What a fight. Could steal the show. Make sure you tune in on DAZN on Saturday. Unbelievable fight. Lee McGregor, Nathaniel Collins. Let's move to the heavyweight division. Now, Glasgow has actually had a little glimpse of some brilliant, amazing, world-class heavyweights over the years. Frank Bruno boxed in Glasgow in 1995. In the year 2000, Mike Tyson boxed here. 2014, Anthony Joshua boxed here in the early stages of his career. Now on Saturday night, we feel you get a glimpse of the next superstar of heavyweight boxing. Moses Itauma, just 20 years old, seen widely by, I think, almost everyone in boxing as the next one. He's the future undisputed. I'm sure Francis Warren, his manager, will have a lot to say about that as well. And before I speak to the fighters, Moses will, of course, be taking on Mike Balogun. I want to get a word from Francis Warren here. You know, Moses is getting all the hype. This is a very important fight on Saturday.
Well, every fight's very important. You know, I think Moses is still developing as a fighter, and working incredibly hard in the gym with Ben, and you know, he's every day grass and grass and grass. I've never seen anyone work so hard, but I've also never seen anyone with such natural talent and ambition at such a young age. It's quite scary, I think, for the rest of the division. You know, I'd never mention names, but the fighters that are turning the opportunity to fight Moses down are, it's quite surprising. So the guys that do step up, you've got to give them a pat on the back and think fair play. They're coming up, you know, stepping up to the plate. So Mike, we thank you for coming over and taking up the challenge of fighting what I believe is the heir apparent to not just the heavyweight championship of the world, but to the next global superstar of boxing. This guy's got it all, and like I said, it's natural talent, it's hard work, it's dedication, it's ambition, and he's doing it all in front of everybody at 20 years old. You know, 20 years old to be talking about being the next superstar, the guy that is going to beat everybody, the guy that's going to be the face of boxing, the face of sport, a representative of Great Britain worldwide as an ambassador for sport and culture. This guy's going to do it all. But he can't do it all unless he goes and does the business on Saturday. I've got every confidence that he's going to put on a fantastic display on Saturday. And, you know, just do not take your eyes off this man's journey, because he will entertain, he will thrill, and he will provide the knockouts that boxing fans and sports fans worldwide want to see. Moses Itauma is going to be a phenomenon.
Thank you, Francis. Wow. So, Mike Balogun, I mean, you've heard it all there from manager Francis Warren. I gave Moses a bit of a G up as well. Everywhere you look, Moses Itauma is getting nothing but hype. You've got to fight him on Saturday. So what's going through your head when you're hearing all of this?
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to thank my team. Without them, I probably wouldn't be sitting here, truth be told. Queensberry, the Bella Entertainment, all the people from Glasgow treating us with nothing short of just amazing treatment. As far as fighting Moses getting shown love, he's supposed to. You know what I mean? He's supposed to be the next man up, but every next man up run into roadblocks, mountains, speed bumps, whatever you want to call it. I'm no pushover, never been one throughout my whole athletic career. I've always been the one who steps up to big challenges and come out on top, and I don't see this as being anything different.
You've taken a few unbeaten records in your time as well. I mean, this would be a notable scalp. This would be a life-changing win for you. Is you seeing it like that?
Absolutely. I also want to thank Moses too. You know, he didn't have to fight me. He could have chose anybody as the man in his position. You know, this is it's big. It's huge. You know what I mean? A win Saturday presents me with the opportunity to fight in bigger events, bigger championship belts, bigger fights, bigger purses. So I'm excited.
Has he made a mistake fighting you, Mike?
No, but he's gonna learn the lesson though. You know, it's no mistakes in getting lessons learned. You know, everybody needs to learn. It's an educational process, right?
Well, let's hear from Moses Itauma. There could be an educational process ahead of you on Saturday night. What are you thinking?
You know, when I come here, I always try to kind of say something beforehand, but I always gauge what my opposition is saying, and obviously as he's talking, I can see that he's a respectful, intelligent guy, so I'll probably do it the same. Mike Balogun, obviously I've watched, there's not too much I can watch of him, but what I've watched, he's a fast, powerful puncher. I mean, the only reason why we are sitting there is because no one else could take the fight, if I'll be honest. It's not really, you know, we're short on opponents. Mike Balogun is obviously the opponent I got today, or Saturday night. I'm just gonna show and I'm gonna showcase my talent. And with the Dempsey McKean fight, I was a little bit of an underdog, and I sort of.
Were you really though?
Huh?
Were you really an underdog in that fight?
I mean, a lot of people didn't think I was gonna win it the way I did. And with this fight, everyone's expecting me to blow you out. And, I guess I will, but...
No, did he?
But,
no, did he?
No, did he? Come on, bro. You had to go there. Listen,
everyone expects me to knock him out. I probably will, but it's the fact that if I don't knock him out, there's obviously, you know, like a bit of question mark. So obviously this does put a bit of pressure on me, but I like it. Pressure's obviously when you put pressure on someone, that's when they grow. So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to this.
Moses, out of interest, it's been a bit of a problem getting you rounds. We're seeing this with guys that are supposed to take you rounds. Marius Wack, Dempsey McKean. You can't get them. Do you think you'll get many on Saturday?
Funnily enough, I think I will. I think I will. Like I said, I've watched a couple of his fights. Very fast hands, very athletic. So I think he will give me a couple rounds. It's a good.
Thank you. You're very athletic, very fast, and I'm expecting a good show from you.
Listen, it's gonna make for a good fight. It's gonna make for a good fight. But listen, I know there's a sold out Glasgow arena. Everyone's here to watch Josh Taylor v Ekow Essuman. So I'm gonna try and make it a quick one.
All right. Okay.
We're gonna fuck around and find out real quick.
Okay, there you have it, the return of Moses Itauma on Saturday night. Mike Balogun, very much up for this. Can't wait to find out what's going to happen. The heavyweights are in town on Saturday. Let's get our teeth into this main event now. Josh Taylor and Ekow Essuman. And Josh, the weight, you're going up now, 147 pounds. What's the camp been like, knowing that you haven't got to cut so much at the end? What are you feeling?
Oh, obviously the training's been gruesome and obviously been hard work. But it feels like I'm on holiday camp this week. It feels like I'm on holiday, you know, dieting, cutting weight and drying out tonight, you know, going in saunas and sweatsuits and drying out, getting the last bit of water you can out of you. You know, it's there's none of that this week. I'm full of beans, full of energy. You know, I've got the spring in my step, so I'm full of energy and I can't wait to get going on Saturday and get this journey rebooted, restarted and kick-started again and move forward, take care of business on Saturday, do it in good fashion and look forward to moving on to big fights in the future.
And is that old magic, remember that magic, undisputed, is that still there? Are you feeling that in camp?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, as I said before in other interviews, you know, at 140, what else was there left for me to do? I'd completed boxing in the sense, you know, I'd won every single belt in boxing you can win. What else was there for me to do in terms of challenges and setting goals and new targets? There was nothing to do. So what there was moving up and putting an assault on becoming a two-time two-weight world champion, and that's what I plan on doing on Saturday, taking this guy out on Saturday, and that's what I'm going to do.
You actually, you said at the launch press conference, you actually feel like this could go early. Do you stand by that? You still feeling that? Are you more confident? Is Hank around? Are you feeling this?
Hank's always not too far away. But no, I'm feeling good. I feel like the way I've been performing in the gym, the way I've been sparring, the guys have been getting in. If I perform the way I have been in the gym on Saturday, it won't go the distance.
Okay, let's hear from Ekow Essuman. I mean, you've been in the shallow ponds of kind of British level. You're in the deep blue sea now with Josh Taylor here, former undisputed champion. Says he's going to take you out on Saturday. What are your thoughts?
And like that's the whole point of it. Like, we're supposed to do that. Like, I don't take offense to it. It is what it is. He's in my way. I'm in his way. It is what it is.
Do you think he believes it when he says he's going to take you out early, or is it just a nice headline to get a round of applause here? Does he really believe he can step up to your weight and take you out? You've never been knocked down, barely been down. Do you really think he believes it?
Oh yeah.
I'll answer that question for you. Would I have become undisputed world champion if I didn't believe that I could take people out? Of course I believe it. I'm not sure on Saturday.
As I was going to say, of course he believes it. He should. And that's good. If he wants to try and end it early, it might be to his detriment. Like, we're going to find out on Saturday. But I came prepared for the best Josh Taylor that there would be. So it's just confirming what I thought would come.
So why do you feel you can take him out in his backyard?
It doesn't matter, backyard or if it was back at Nottingham or in London. I don't have a lot of shows that I've boxed at in my home city, like big shows, so I'm used to being the away fighter. So it's just same job, different venue.
And Josh, this is a kind of renewed hunger you've talked about. The wolf on the hunt is hungrier than the wolf on the hill. Give us a bit of an insight into that, because you're at welterweight, you haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, I haven't done nothing yet, and a lot of people are writing me off. You know, he's done, he's finished, and I got a lot of fire in my belly to prove a lot of people wrong again. So, yeah, this is Josh Taylor 2.0, and it starts on Saturday.
And Ekow, I asked you what you're like now. You know, you suffered that loss and things seem to have changed. You said you're more unhinged now. How does that manifest itself into Saturday night? What does an unhinged Ekow Essuman look like?
Just a very exciting Ekow Essuman to watch. More crafty, more creative, throw some magic in there and do what I do.
Do you have advantages being I guess you should be the bigger man. You've been at the weight longer. Do you see that as an advantage?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you'd think, yeah, I do.
Why do you think he's picked you?
I don't know. Obviously trying to make a statement. All I can say is wrong statement to make.
There's a lot of feeling that this is all the Josh Taylor story, Ekow. We talked about him, it's in Glasgow, everything he's achieved. So where do you see yourself fitting in to the Josh Taylor story when it's all said and done?
To him, I'm a challenge. To me, he's someone in my way that I need to step over, stepping stone to world glory, and rightfully so. I mean, he's been amazing in the past, and it's time for me to make my statement.
Time for him to make his statement, Josh. That would be quite the upset at this point, right?
Yeah, it would be, but that's what everyone's saying. You know, a stepping stone, but it's going to be a sore stone to step on. You're going to get a sore foot.
That's all right. I was born in Botswana. I used to walk around barefoot with sand, stone, thorns, all sorts.
Touché. Now listen, I'm firing on all cylinders in the gym, and on Saturday I'm going to put on a good performance. And Ekow standing my way, I'm standing his way. We'll put on a good fight, but I've absolutely no doubts that I'm coming out on top on Saturday and moving on to big fights again.
Okay, that is your main event on Saturday night. I don't know if we've got any questions from the media. I'm looking at Ellie. We have no questions from the media. So that concludes this portion of the press conference. We're going to get some face-offs, and we might need security a little bit for a couple of them. And thank you very much. We'll see you on Saturday, live on DAZN.
Okay, well that wraps up the press conference. I'm just waiting for Carol Itauma to join me back here. Quite lively actually, that Carol. We're just going to talk through the face-offs as they happen in a second. But yeah, Mike Balogun. Listen, I've seen plenty of American fighters and fighters who have come as an opponent give it the big one, but he does seem confident. Moses conceded he's athletic, he's fast, he's powerful, so maybe it's not going to be a walkover job like the public are expecting.
Do you know what? I think my brother wants that though. Like, my brother wants opportunities to be created, and I feel like someone that's confident in their own ability, which Mike Balogun perceives, he will create openings, and that's when he's going to get stung.
Well, listen, if you create openings against Moses Itauma, it's not really the place you want to be, Carol.
Especially as a heavyweight. Nah, literally the speed, the sharpness, the power is something that no opponent has seen.
Aloys Jr. was very upfront about what he's going to do to David Jameson.
That was. Do you know what? that's what creates like excitement, and I guess everyone's trying to create a show. So fair play.
Maybe playing the villain role a little bit. Did you feel that?
Perhaps. But it comes back to that thing where all publicity is good publicity, isn't it? So, yeah.
For sure. The main event, right, Josh Taylor has said he's confirmed up there, look, I won't have to get into a sweatsuit tonight. I won't have to get in the saunas, dry every bit of water off me. So we touched upon it earlier, but that is going to be a huge boost for him going into Saturday night. He can feel at his best.
Absolutely. I can definitely I understand where he's referring to. Every fighter that's not in the heavyweight division kind of goes through that. So, yeah, he must feel great. I bet he does. And it looks like we've got a good show on Saturday night.
For sure. Look, Ekow Essuman has described it as a stepping stone to world level. So that's what he's viewing this Saturday night as. I'm going to take Josh's scalp at welterweight, do it in front of your own fans in Scotland, and I'm going to push on to world honours myself. So both of them have got both their careers on the line here, essentially, because they're not young men. I think Ekow's 36, Josh is mid-30s as well. So they can't afford a loss, either of them.
The thing is, Umar, I feel like every fighter's got to get respect for obviously going through them grueling camps, put it all on the line, for the fans. And like I said before, it is going to be a great night.
Well, listen, if you just look down here, we've got our first face-off, all-Scottish clash. This was quite fiery as well. I don't know if you saw a bit of it.
Yeah, no, I did. Obviously, going back and forth on that.
Yeah.
Did they box each other in amateurs or something?
I'm not too sure. We've got Aston Brown and Reece Porter here. Yeah, they're both confident of knockout, and that's not a bad way to open the show. Two guys, I believe, from Glasgow as well.
Looks like a big guy like Austin.
From middleweight, yeah. He is. Now we're going to bring in Aloys Jr, I believe, and David Jamieson, which is a massive size difference height-wise. But Aloys, you've seen him up close. He's a thick guy.
Yeah. Now that's going to be a fight as well.
Yeah, listen, Aloys, again, a bit like your brother, has been blowing people away. But this is his first real, looks like, step up. It is for the Commonwealth title as well. And David Jameson, in front of his home fans, he's not going to want in there to get blown out in a couple of rounds. He's going to put everything into this against Aloys on Saturday.
Am I mistaken, or has he boxed Chev?
Who? David, I think he has, yeah. So I guess that's something to go off if Aloys can do a real job on David Jamieson. He's got his shades on, going for the 007 look. There's a bit of verbals there. Doesn't seem like anything too.
But I'm guessing Aloys is favourite though.
Aloys is big favourite in this fight. Yeah, massively. But it's a new experience. He's going to someone's backyard. I think he's always boxed in London before, Aloys.
Yeah.
So this is different, but. Yeah, this should be a very good fight, Commonwealth title. It was a more tame face-off than I thought we perhaps might get. Looks like next up will be another all-Scottish clash, between Nathaniel Collins and Lee McGregor. This is like a very hard fight to call, and Dev said something up there, said after Josh Taylor that the winner of this is essentially going to be the face of Scottish boxing.
Yeah, both fighters acknowledged it, and I feel like they were both quite respectful to one another. So, yeah, great fight.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've seen the odds for this. Nathaniel does come in as a slight favourite for this fight. Size-wise, they're very similar as well.
Now, looking at him now, I saw Nathaniel boxing in your court at one time.
Correct.
I think when he got signed, I think.
Correct.
So,
I think he got a first-round stoppage.
Yeah, he
that
did.
night.
He did. Yeah, that's it.
No, this should promise to be a really.
What do you think? Do you reckon it'll go early?
Could do. They both punch. Lee's a big puncher himself.
Yeah.
But again, in front of their Scottish fans, and they're going to dig deep, aren't they?
Absolutely.
They're not going to give up easily in this fight, just like David Jamieson, just like the two Scots before. So we now roll into your brother and Mike Balogun. The heavyweights are in town, and it was interesting to hear, Frank Bruno, Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I didn't even know some of them.
Frank actually put on that fight with Mike Tyson.
AJ as well.
AJ, there's Moses with his straps that you bought in from the hotel, correct? Mike Balogun, I have to be honest, I haven't seen much of him, to be honest.
I've just seen his fight with Gassiev, to be fair.
Yeah, he got stopped by Gassiev. Yeah.
Oh, some verbal there.
Nothing's going to faze Moses, though, is it?
Nah. Do you know what? The more Balogun says, I think the more he'll get fired up. So.
It seems fairly respectable. Listen, we want someone like that in front of Moses.
Yeah. I didn't mean in terms of heat, as in he'll take it out as planned, but it will just. I reckon it would be a better performance.
And now the finale. Josh Taylor and Ekow Essuman just waiting for them to square off. Here we go. And this is the one that, the Hydro are looking forward to on Saturday night.
Not crazy size difference though, is it?
Nah, not at all. Not at all. I mean, Josh was always a big 140.
Yeah.
Obviously, Josh, pranking around. Josh is a little bit more rangy, a bit more gangly. Ekow's obviously been a natural at welterweight.
Yeah.
But that £7 jump that Josh is making, I am very intrigued. I know obviously making the weight's going to be much more comfortable this time for Josh, but £7 is a big jump up for your first fight. It's not a warm-up fight. Ekow Essuman, although he's just competed.
So is this his first fight at this weight?
At welterweight. Although he's competed only at British level.
Yeah.
From what Ekow's shown, he looks like a world-class fighter. So I am interested to see how that extra weight's going to, how his punch resistance is going to be, how his own power is going to be. Josh, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered about Josh Taylor. So there we go. We've had the face-offs, and I believe we are going to be joined by Josh Taylor. I'm just waiting for confirmation. But we are going to be joined by a few guests before we wrap this stream up. But yeah, look, four or five fights there. We've got all on, you can pick in a couple a big favourite, but some of them it's very hard to call what's going to happen.
What one do you think will be the fight of the night, or that could steal the show?
Look, Taylor Essuman's a brilliant fight, but I think McGregor and Collins potentially could be fight of the night. Just looking at it. Back to your brother as well. You said if someone's giving him a bit of talk in his face, that could actually be the detriment to the opponent.
I don't think he'll react. But in that ring, he'll be a bit more spiteful. Not that he's not spiteful, but I think he'll give it in there.
Well, we are going to be joined by the former undisputed champ. How are you, Josh? Just take your mic there, mate. So you're back in Glasgow. You had so many fantastic nights here. You mentioned Baranchich. I mean, that was for me one of probably your best performances. I guess the big question around this, Josh, is at welterweight, are we going to see the best Josh Taylor again, perhaps an even better Josh Taylor than was right before?
I believe so. I mean, I wouldn't still be in the game if I didn't believe it and wasn't performing in the gym. I'm at 147 now. I'm fresh. I'm full of energy. I'm nice and strong and healthy, and full of energy. So there's a nice spring in my step on fight week. The last couple of fights, I've been groggy fight week. I've been right about and right cranky. Hank came right out, because
I've seen that one before. Yeah. I remember them days.
Yeah. So, but this week, I'm nice, relaxed, comfortable. I'll go in tonight, do a little move around it, but it won't be no sweatsuits, no trying to boil down, get the water out of me, and it's just, I'm really going to be doing a little boxing session, technical work, focused on what we're doing on Saturday, actually zoned in and focusing on the boxing rather than making the weight for tomorrow. So yeah, I'm flying.
Before you joined us, I was speaking to Carol, who knows about making weight, and he says how much of an advantage this will be. I mean, you touched upon it earlier, Carol, but yeah, Josh fighting at those extra £7, that could be the factor on Saturday night.
Absolutely, but I genuinely think even narrow it down, even an extra kilo, you haven't got to make that. That'll give you that advantage, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm walking around more at my natural weight. So as you said, like having to try and make 140 and stuff, like I stopped my strength training and whatever about 10, 12 days, 2 weeks ago, and even then I wasn't able to add more weight or get any much stronger. I had reached my limit at welterweight, light welter, sorry. But now I've got baggage room to improvement. here to myself, not just into the welterweight, for myself, for self-improvement as an athlete. I've got bags of room for improvement, and you know, I'm full of energy and I can't wait to get going.
Josh, I do want to ask, look, at welterweight, there's not too many options domestically. Obviously, worldwide there is, but Ekow Essuman's a very good fighter. He's been at this weight, obviously, his whole career. He's not the biggest of names, though, so why did you... I mean, fair play to you, but why Ekow Essuman? You could have took anyone and sold this out.
We went and spoke to Frank and Francis and stuff, and they flew Ekow at us straight away. We went, gives it, take it then. It's a great name, great scalp, take it. So, he says, gives it, because I'm full of ambition. If I can't beat Ekow, hang up the gloves.
Listen, Josh, we're going to let you go. Best of luck on Saturday, champ.
Cheers, thank you.
All the best, Josh.
Cheers, mate. Thank you, guys.
Well, listen, that wraps up the live stream. We've just heard from the Tartan Tornado there. He's at welterweight. He's one of the biggest stars in Scottish sport. He's going into the Hydro, where he's had so many good wins, but there's an Englishman coming to ruin that party. All live on DAZN worldwide, joined by Carol Itauma for the stream. It's been a pleasure having you. Best of luck to your brother as well this Saturday night. And yeah, thank you very much for everyone who tuned in.